Hey, my name is Zeus Tipado, a writer for Healing Maps, and let's talk about tripping while blind. We're not talking about a handkerchief over your eye. I mean, actually blind. And also, not every blindness is cut the same. There's an area of the brain called the primary visual cortex, also called V1. It's located in the occipital lobe, which is basically the back of your brain. V1 is where the end result of nearly all visual processing gets placed in the brain, which is what you've seen your entire life. It's called vision. Now, I don't want to drown you in explanation, but imagine the primary visual cortex as a projector screen, where visual information from the projector gets placed for someone to see. But it's not that simple. The retinal fugal pathway in your brain is a complex visual journey. It's contradictory, and it's something in neuroscience we know very little about. Whew. Okay, so damage to V1 can cause scotoma, or blind spots in the visual field. Damage even deeper in the visual cortex, like damage to the IT, can cause prosopagnosia, which is face blindness. Basically, you wouldn't be able to recognize details on any face, just the shape. However, there is one blindness unlike any other. It's called congenital blindness, which is a life of never having any visual experience ever. It usually happens at birth, and sight is never a sense that's experienced. Vision, light, color can only be explained in abstract concepts and left to the imagination. So it happens if a congenital blind person takes a psychedelic like LSD, which is known for its trippy visuals. Well, mind-blowing stuff happens, obviously. The first and maybe only case report of a congenital blind person taking psychedelics happened in 2018. The psychedelic was LSD with a little bit of cannabis sprinkled in there. And what did this person see? What visuals did they have? Well, surprisingly, the person had zero visuals. However, they did experience something called synesthesia. You may have heard of synesthesia. It's when a person experiences a sense through another unrelated sense, like tasting sound or hearing touch. In the congenital blind person's case, listening to the classical composer Bach became a tactile experience under LSD, almost like he could touch the music notes. When this person listened to conversations while tripping, he would hear every word but was unable to understand the overall meaning. Almost like a condition called aphasia. Aphasia is usually the result of head trauma, and it's a language disorder that can affect how you process hearing language or create an inability to verbalize language. Believe it or not, language disorder is a common theme among heavy psychedelic trips, but a topic for another video. Another common thing with psychedelic trips are facial distortions. Don't look in the mirror. However, if a person lacks vision, it must be impossible to experience these facial distortions, right? No, not right. When this congenital blind person felt the faces of familiar people, their skin felt surreal and soft, but more detailed areas of their face, like the eyes, nose, and mouth, felt distorted. This particular psychedelic experience was under LSD, but what about other psychedelics? Do they have the same effect? When this congenital blind person took psilocybin, which is the active psychedelic in magic mushrooms, he said it was pretty ineffective at producing a trip and just took over his thoughts. Wait, shrooms taking over your thoughts? I've never experienced that before. However, with LSD, he found he had the ability to shift his dreams to very wordy Shakespearean languages. Remember, even in dreams, congenital blind people don't experience any visual data. As of today, there's never been a clinical study of a congenital blind person taking psychedelics, only just first-hand reports. However, I know you're out there, and if you are congenitally blind and want to participate in a psychedelic study, drop a comment on this video and let's make psychedelic science history.